And we are live. Let's play some music. Let me get my other streams up quickly. Let's get some. Good morning. How are we feeling? Let's get those positive vibes. It's actually quite a relaxing song, actually, isn't it? Really? It's a little beat.
It feels like the rain tapping,
Yeah, it does.
nice chill stuff.
How are you anyway, Joe?
I'm not bad, thank you. Not bad.
Let's turn that down a little bit. All right, let's get my other lives up. Bear with me 2 seconds. So you didn't watch the Super Bowl yesterday?
I don't think I watched any telly yesterday.
No Super Bowl, Joe. Come on, you gotta get down. Gotta get down
I
with the
don't,
trends.
yeah, I'd rather stick needles in my eye probably, but I'm not really
All right.
into watching sport.
No, I hear that. I hear that. Right, let's turn that off. Right. Topic of today. Topic of today. Um, should we ban X? Should we censor X and all these social media platforms? Obviously today a lot's been said today about the Southport killings. That Axel kid that done the horrendous murders. He was watching crazy terrorist attacks online. He even to the point where he was on his way to the actual nursery watching it. Like some people will say that watching stuff doesn't make you act on stuff, but I think it definitely helps you on the way. Like if you didn't have the ability to sort of just tune in and watch the most craziest horrendous stuff ever, like it wouldn't even come in. It might come into your mind, but you can't picture it. And some people, obviously, for this kid, he was watching it. He was watching a similar terrorist attack and then goes and commits that terror attack. Surely that's the biggest red flag. Elon Musk at the minute, he's up Keir Starmer's backside. He's really trying to influence. He's really trying to put his foot down on the UK for some reason. He wants to come and bother us. What's your thoughts, Joe? Do we need to censor what's on the internet nowadays?
Yes, absolutely. The thing is, people have a little worm in their own, don't they? They hear it sometime and it could be years later, but you start and then you start looking at other things, listening, talking, and then suddenly a few years down the line, you commit murder. So
Yep. Yep.
things do need to be censored. Hatred needs to be censored.
Yep.
Censored.
Definitely, definitely. And for Elon Musk, he's all about. He hides behind this freedom of speech. Like in America right now, there are KKK members all dressed up with their swastikas, with their swastika flags up on a bridge, saying "whites only" and stuff like that. Like, how does that productive to the to the human sort of race? Like, how is that
We're all
productive?
human.
Why would what's the benefit of allowing that to happen? I don't get it.
It's got to be about power, hasn't it? Purely
Explain,
about power.
explain. Why, like
Well,
you try and justify to me why governments and police forces and stuff like that would think it's okay to allow people with swastikas and stuff like that out there.
I honestly don't understand. I believe everyone should be treated equally, always. Why would you want people there intimidating races of people? Why would you want that? Unless it's to do with yourself and the power that it gives you, the excitement it gives you, the money it gives you.
Obviously, and a lot of people were saying, whether Donald Trump won because of racism and stuff like that. I think to myself, when you see people with swastikas and Nazi flags and stuff like that, I wonder who they voted for. Do you think they voted for Kamala? Do you think that? I wonder if any of them. I wonder if those good old boys voted for Kamala.
It's just, it's all corrupt, isn't it?
Yep, and it just doesn't make no sense. Like I think Keir Starmer, I reckon. X will be censored or even banned in this country. I don't know how much juice Elon's got. I know he's a very wealthy and very powerful man, especially now having a role, in America's government and stuff with their funding and
God
their
help
budget and
them.
stuff. Um, to be very fair, it does seem that he's, they brought him in to try control the budget and stuff like that, and to look at expenses and stuff like that. And it does seem like they've been robbing. Basically, I think they've got like an 800 million deficit, billion deficit, like which unaccountable money. And I was watching an interview, and this guy was like saying to this Democratic reporter, he was saying to her like, surely we should know where that 800 billion has gone. We're talking about 800 billion. Like, people go to jail in this country for stealing a tenner or 20 quid or stealing a sandwich. Like, you're talking about 800 billion, unaccountable money just in a year. Like, what happened to it? like,
Where does it go? Why aren't people held accountable?
yeah,
What, at what level do you stop being held accountable?
I think there's only one conclusion. Like, the Democrats are moaning, they're saying about blah, 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 the Republicans, or all this sort of crap. But for me, it's a straight question. Where has that money gone? You lot were in charge of that money. Where has it gone? Like, where has it gone? Like, do you realize what you could have done with that money? Like, what the goodness that they could have done with the money. Like, everyone goes on about America being this powerful country. Yeah, they got a great, powerful army, but they still got a hell of a lot of people living in third world conditions. Like, you see some states, like, people like where they've legalized drugs and stuff like that. It's like a zombie town. Like the videos that we see with the prison
Mm.
movies and stuff like that, not the prison movies, the prison videos. I know if you see them on Instagram where the guys are like spiced out and they're literally like zombies and stuff, like, you're seeing that in America, like, it's honestly embarrassing, to be fair.
Do you know what? Going back to X,
Yeah,
I watched it for the first time with you guys, didn't
yeah,
I?
yeah. I showed you that thing, didn't I?
And that video where we had a 13-year-old girl
Yep.
talking about hatred for people, black people. Her dad was proud of her, and he was one teaching her how to. And the interviewer was excited with her words, and I just think it's shameful that how, why? I don't get it. Why would you be so hateful towards people at 13? That's coming from your parents, obviously.
I think Elon Musk as well, like, why would you allow certain crap on social media? Obviously, I know the financial rewards are obviously great for him. Like, he's got this supposedly unfiltered platform where you can say and do whatever you want. Although it seems that he does have a problem with some people, like, if it doesn't balance with his narrative or whatever, it will sort of just get axed straight away, or they'll get their accounts deleted or whatever. I've heard a lot of people getting their accounts deleted for tweeting free Palestine and stuff like that. I've heard a lot of that. Um,
So
uh,
you're allowed to alienate a certain race of people, but not others.
yeah, and it does seem that way to me as well. Like, he seems to be pushing the far right's his backbone basically at the minute. The far right is his
So he's got an
backbone.
agenda.
Yeah, yeah. The far right is his backbone, and he's trying to spread division all over the place, like, and ultimately, there seems to be an agenda at the minute to sort of stir people up, make people angry, make people go out and commit atrocities, like,
But
make
people
people
are
like,
angry
yeah,
already.
mm,
What? Why would you want to make it worse?
yeah. And I think there's a lot of people that are unhappy in their lives. There's a lot of people that are really unhappy in their lives, and there's a lot of people that have realized that these unhappy people, they need, if you can be smart and make them think that it's someone else, that's it's someone else, or put their anger that they've got onto someone else or another community, another religion, that's a profitable business, because then you'll get followers. Like, there's a few people on TikTok that literally they live for it. Everything is, if a Muslim, everything is like an anti-Islamic, it's like an anti-Islam sort of like agenda the whole way through. It's like Asian man does this, Asian like Muslim man does this. It's like, it's just full. Like, their whole feed is
Mm.
just full of someone did this, and it's always a person of color, or it's always a person of color, or it's someone from the from Islam, basically, a Muslim, basically, and they're just pushing that hate and that hatred. People, what gets me is, like, people don't realize that they're being played. Like, anyone can go on social media and find any single race, any single person, because ultimately we are all human beings and there are good and bad in every race, every color, every creed, every religion.
Absolutely.
Like, this is just basic common sense. So to have it in your head that, like, a certain demographic of people are, just out for benefits and stuff like that. And, there's a lot of anti-immigration and stuff in the UK. And my thing is, I think we need to start a campaign for every single person that's over here, because according to the far right, they want all the foreigners out of the country. So I propose that everyone that's come over here that's working legally, you know, just take a week off work and show what would happen to this country if the immigrants stop working. Like, I'm talking
Honestly,
about I'm talking about the
NHS.
NHS. I'm talking about the doctors, like, just the nurses, even the carers. Like, people,
Oh, absolutely.
people don't want to, like, unfortunately, it's a cultural thing. English people don't want to look after their elderly. They don't want to look after them. They prefer to dump them in care homes, and that's how it is. That's English culture, to dump your family in care homes. In other cultures, it's frowned upon, like, but in English cultures, like, dump them in a care home. Like, if you go into any care home, you're going to see a whole load of people from a whole load of countries looking after your elderly. Like, um, what happens a week of those immigrants not working, and then we'll get the true face of it. Like,
Um,
I get they've done some studies on the people coming over from different areas, and there are certain demographics that are coming over and just for the benefits, like staying on the benefits, serial benefits, and
but
they are trying to cut that out. I saw a proposal in the immigration policy to change that, actually, like, to target those people. Like, if you want to come over here, you have to work, and that
for
should
the
be the
most, they
basic
do.
standard. Yeah.
Like the NHS.
Yeah.
If you took out everyone that wasn't born in this country out from the NHS, within days we'd have people dying in hospitals, people dying in the streets. There wouldn't be enough people to look after people.
Yeah,
Simple.
of course. And you're talking about this would everywhere. You're talking about, like, cleaning jobs, like, farmers, like, in America, they're saying at the minute the farmers are complaining because none of the Mexicans are turning up to work. Like, they're not turning up to work, so the farmers are literally, like, saying there's no one to man these farms. Like, American-born citizens don't want to come here and work hard. Like, they just don't want to do those jobs. Like, they'd prefer to, sell drugs, shoot people. I don't know what their welfare's like, out there, whatever it is. Um, but they feel they're too good for those sort of jobs. So I think we really do need to show the people, like, really show them what happens when you stop these people that are doing the jobs that other people don't want to do. Like, what happens to the country. Like, I would predict that it would turn on its head, like, within no time. Like,
Mm.
when there's no one coming to visit your mum in hospital, your grandma in hospital, wipe her backside when she needs it. She could, or even the people that need a lot more hands-on care. People that, like, sometimes you walk down the road and you see five African guys with one person that they're looking after. What happens to that? What's that person doing if he's not got those carers? Like, I know this industry very well. Like, you're talking about, having people that are, very fragile, and, maybe
Mm.
go out and maybe they start hurting people.
When COVID was on and stuff, um, I worked in the hospitals, getting people out of hospitals, and so we were working with the care industry and that, and we would need to get a lot of living carers. Well, they got them from Europe. We'd phone them up and they'd say we need X amount of people, and they would have them there the following week.
Yeah.
They'd stay with that person for 3 months,
Mm.
and then they'd rotate.
Yeah.
You
I,
know,
I,
and
I think some people are very stupid. Like, so like, the stupidity in the hateful far right is literally uncomprehendable. Like, you can't believe how stupid some of them are and the things they believe. Like, I remember people that voted UKIP. They were saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get rid of all the foreigners in this country." Like, we're going to get rid of all the foreign. Like, basically, they're basically some people. The people had the mentality: if they voted UKIP, they wouldn't see any more black and brown faces in this country. Like, like it's just like ridiculous. Like, it's just stupid. Like, just you're talking about people that are five and six generation British, basically. They've
Mm.
been they've been here just as long as, like, their other people's families have been here. But
Can you
uh,
imagine living in a world then where our country was just white? Can you
I think some.
imagine
I
how
think
boring that'd be?
I think some people would. That sounds like heaven to some people. To be honest, if you look online, there's a lot about Poland, obviously, and God forbid, God knows why they are protesting out there. I'm like, you got no, you got your full white country or whatever it is. What are you protesting about? There's no people there. Like, people come for travel on holidays and stuff like that. But what the hell are you like see them out there prancing around and doing all their salutes and all that sort of shit. Like, just I don't understand it personally.
Just
I don't
just be
understand it, but it's
kind, just
just
love
just
everybody.
hate. I just can't imagine what it's like waking up angry and being hateful every single day. Like, like, I want to live next door to human beings that are work hard, good people. If you filter out the bad, and you filter out the bad people, but if you filter out the bad people, that goes through everyone, even British
Mm.
people that I don't want to live next to. Scumbags. I don't want to live next to scumbags. Like, no one wants to. We want a community of hardworking people. Like, but you've got people that are scumbags just because they're born here, thinking that they've got some mad rights. Like, during the riots, after the Southport thing, like, you saw what was happening. It was the deep poor people out there stealing sandwiches, stealing vapes, stealing cigarettes, stealing alcohol. Like, just the people that I wouldn't
Mm.
personally want to live next to. No one would. Like, most people want to live in an area of, like, working class people, people that keep the morale up. And in this country we have a thing that everyone has to, like, social housing is mixed in. And not to
Yeah,
say anything snobby or anything like that. I'm not even saying that, but I'm saying that it's just like a standard of people, hardworking, good family people. That's what you want to live next to. You don't want to live next to people that smoke all day, drink all day, and
no,
make litter outside the house and stuff like that. And that's generally what we want. So some of these people saying get them out, get them out. We could do with booting some of our homegrown talent out, like, or relegating
absolutely.
them, to certain areas, which is kind of what we do now. Hence why you see people, like, that are so angry, convinced someone stole their job. They're not even working anyway. Like, if you have to break into Greg's and steal sandwiches and steal pasties. And don't get me wrong, some of those pasties are nice sometimes, but that's kind of telling you where you are in life if you're
Mm.
stealing pasties and stealing shoes and socks and stuff like that. Like, just and this is the thing. I actually felt really sad for them. I actually felt really sad for them watching them, even though they would hate my guts and they would throw me on fire, set me on fire. Any chance they got, if they wouldn't piss on me if I was on fire, is the best saying. I actually felt really sorry for a lot of them, like, because I'm thinking to myself, like, the guy's so happy. He's got a cigarette in his mouth and he's got a drink. He's got a pasty. He's sitting there. He's got some new
Loving
croc.
life and
He's got
thinking
some
that's how
fake
it
croc.
is.
He's got some fake Crocs on. Like, I actually felt really really sorry for them. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we bridge the gap. I do want to do a lot of. I do want to do some interviews actually, where I interview people that maybe have some less popular views and find out how they got to where they got. Like, they don't. I think that the average man doesn't realize he's being played by these social media giants, like, Elon Musk. Anyone that thinks Elon Musk is their big is their pal, like, and he's got their
Because
he's
it's
got
that, isn't
it,
it? People
literally,
think
it's
you've got
all about
money, you're
it's all
important, your words are valid.
no, he's all about the Benjamins. Like, if he knows, if he regulated his site properly, if he regulated that site properly, he'd probably lose a whole load of money. But the fact that he's allowing, like, the worst type of people on there that just stir up hate all day long, like, it's just it,
Well, maybe he needs to be held accountable if any crimes are committed, any people suffer any injury
well,
because other
I
people's been
mean,
on
he,
their
he he will
platform.
say and there's a lot of people that will say that, watching things doesn't influence you to do things. Let's just put that out there. So
Well,
if you allow loads of murders, loads of craziness to be online, that's not going to influence anyone. What do
we
we
know
say
it's
to
wrong.
what do we say to children after wrestling, after when they watch wrestling, straight away.
You know,
This is
we know how much.
these things are performed by professional actors. Please do not try this because they know that children, like you doing wrestling moves that they've seen on the telly, probably trying to break someone's neck or something like that. It just goes to show you, like they will be doing it.
It's advertisement, isn't it?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
know that
advertising.
advertisement
Yeah,
works. You sell washing up powder on the telly, people go and buy it. So whatever you talk,
yeah.
of course there are going to be people
It's a,
listening in, and there's going to be people acting.
imagine making billions of pounds off allowing people to watch people's heads getting blown off every day, watching women in, like like, I'm not against the industry at all, but some of the things that you see on X at the minute, like and I'm an adult and I go through these rabbit holes where I'm going down there, I'm like, what the fudge, and sometimes, like I have been desensitized to people being chased by drones and getting blown up. I've been like, it doesn't mean
Really.
nothing to me because I've seen it so often on X now, where where it's even affected my mind to the point where that doesn't affect me anymore. Seeing dead babies and dead kids doesn't affect. Oh wait, it does affect me, but it's normalized in my brain. Like I don't think that should be there. Like
No,
it just
it
shouldn't.
shouldn't. That's why I
It
don't watch any of it.
Yeah, and
If I watch anything like that,
yeah, but
it hits
unfortunately.
hard.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend that people don't watch it, but it's also, there's a thing of like, if you're not aware of what's happening like in the world, like
I
it's
know
kind
the
of
thing
difficult.
is, if you don't watch it, you're not aware. If
Yeah,
you do watch it, you become desensitized.
yeah,
It's like it's just I
yeah.
don't know.
They're saying that
People,
about way off topic, about pornography at the minute, like in terms of the porn industry, like um, it's um, it's literally messing up men's minds and it's creating men to have unrealistic expectations from from their wife or girlfriends, or and everything now seems to be very degrading towards on the women's side. Like it's a big thing to sort of like dominate a woman or dominate even a younger girl, sort of. It's the most, like people, people do get up in arms when they hear about older men liking younger girls and stuff like that. I'm talking legal, like 18 and
yeah, yeah,
upwards and
yeah.
stuff like that. But um that porn is the most regularly watched porn. Like people regularly watch that sort of stuff. Like and if you look on what's going on telly at the minute, and you hear women come out and they're like, my boyfriend or my partner, he's obsessed with all this crazy sex sort of stuff, like and
He sees it and he wants it,
yeah,
and
literally.
in
So
reality, you can't have it.
no, and some people, it starts soft. It always starts soft, and then it gets harder, and it gets to the point where, and this is true. Like they've interviewed psychopaths and serial killers, and they've said, started off watching it. They started off hurting animals, and then progressing on to, human beings eventually and stuff. And some people are able to control their urges to do it, but a lot of people, because it's so regularly in their face, and the dark side of stuff that's online and stuff like that, like it's just literally frying these
You
guys'
see it as
brains.
reality.
Yeah, and I heard this stat that 50% of men 50% of men haven't had sex in a year. Like 50% of men haven't had sex in a year, like in this day and age, over a certain age. I can't remember what age that is. And I was just like, wow. Like I can remember a time in my life when it was like that, um yeah, I mean that's really, like men are unable to sort of connect with women now, and a lot of that is social
Funny
media.
that, isn't it?
A lot of it is social media. Like you're a woman, you post stuff on TikTok and stuff like that. You must get a lot of like intro. Talk to me about your DMs. What sort of DMs do you get? So we'll just
Oh, I get
quickly go.
loads.
What kind of
Oh,
questions do we get?
do you know what? To be fair, most people are pretty respectful,
Okay.
and they're just wanting to take me out on dates, go dancing, and things like that. Or people just put random one-liners, and like, I definitely would. You know,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. That's normal. I think what's the reality of it is, on social media, your fans start polite and they start friendly, and the moment they realize that nothing's gonna happen, they turn into your worst enemies. This is where deep rooted trolls come from. Like
yeah,
where like like you'll be on social media. Eventually, you'll build up bigger and stuff like that, and you'll get people watching you. And if you don't give them the attention that they require, like eventually they'll just turn on you and they'll become haters.
You can't give this is the thing, you can't give people the attention because if you put a post up and you get, I don't know, 100 likes, 50 comments, and you respond, you don't have time to take it any further than that.
No.
Don't have time to give people more time,
Yeah.
or you don't have time to like many things. You know, it's just weird, isn't it? Social media is just weird, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it must be very tricky for women, like because you're only like a lot of people are single, and and there is a lot of attention getting from men on social media, and you might see a guy and think, oh, he's a bit of me, sort of thing, So I might, and then you might entertain a few bits here and there, sort of, with with the intention. I don't know. I think there are women out there that have the intentions of just a one nighter, and there are women out there. You talk to me. Do you what sort of when you see so let's just say a nice guy messages you, says, "Hi babe, you're real sexy. Love to take you out for a meal." You see the guy's profile, you like him. What do you what's in your mind? Are you thinking? You
Thank
tell
you,
me,
I'm busy.
huh?
Thank you, I'm busy. I'm terrible. I do want to meet somebody,
Yeah.
and organically what happens. But when you're on social media, I think it's just different. I mean, I have been speaking to a guy on social media, but we both got ill, so we couldn't meet, and then that's just fizzled off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
No, but my
I,
question was, when you see someone that you like, that messaged you, is there relationship vibes? Like, is it relationship straight away, or is it more physical sort of thing? Like, for you.
bit of both sometimes. I mean, I just got on a date with somebody. I think I met him on a dating site, and then we've become friends on Facebook and stuff. And I'm not going to lie, the physicalness
Hmm.
is what pushed me to that date. Because
Okay.
he was my age, the six pack, he was strong,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, that was definitely about
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
what he
I
looked like.
imagine it takes a lot of control and discipline though for a woman, because like I'm pretty sure if you waved your panties, so to speak, on social media, waved the red flag, I'm open for business, you could entertain a lot of people. So,
Yeah,
and especially for women that are single, I know, like, I imagine that must be quite difficult, sort of like to balance in your head. You're thinking to yourself, right, do I want to be a, or am
well,
I?
I know. Well, like on my post,
Yeah.
I have a lot of underwear bikini posts,
Yes, I've seen a lot of people are
and
saying to me, have you converted her to the OF party? And I'm like,
I
no, I
know,
haven't. No, she's innocent.
and and I love it because it gives me confidence. It's helped me grow. I mean, seriously, it's helped me grow so much and appreciate and love myself. And I do get a lot of messages from it, but if I feel uncomfortable, I just ignore it. Out of sight, out of mind. So I do get a couple of uncomfortable messages, but my post is about empowering me and empowering women, and not necessarily about getting, tapped on the DM or anything.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
But
I, I,
I have
I
got some great pictures. I'd love to put them up, but I think, oh, that's a little bit risky. I've got one in my drafts at the moment, and I'd love to put it up because the muscle tone and everything, but the bum's right there.
oh, okay. I heard you saying actually on your interview that you're quite proud that you've built up a bum, sort of like
Mm,
Yeah, you see, you're quite proud of that. Let's see the guns
I
then.
am
Let's
very
see.
proud of it.
Let's see the guns. What we got going? Are they ready yet? Oh, okay, okay. You've been doing the triceps.
Yeah, okay, let me tell you about my triceps, right? I have big arms.
Yeah,
My arms were the size of my legs. And I'm building it up. It's not, look, you can see
yeah,
I've got muscle tone. I've got a little bit of under here, but that was massive. But look, there's the
Yeah,
guns.
yeah, yeah, that's good.
So,
Yeah,
bums and guns and triceps, that's my weak area.
yeah,
And they're getting all right.
yeah. That's that's
Mm.
that's that's good. And everyone is like, a lot of women are getting into the fitness, and they're saying, it's giving them so much confidence and stuff. So,
That's because
all power to you.
it's on the inside. By going to the gym, it trains the inside.
Yeah.
The outside then starts looking after itself.
Indeed, happy body, happy mind. So it was it. I can't remember the saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Joe, lovely having a little chat with you for our live. We will be back, everyone. Look forward to the shorts on this. Pardon me.
See you later.